Run it back.
Ready?
Keep it light.
There's so many out there, you just don't know.
Which ones to watch and when to say no. That's why Ryan and
Andrew
watch so you don't have to. Boo! Boo!
Yay!
Boo! No. You're cheering for the movie?
Boo!
Boo! That's what I wanted to do at the end of the movie.
Yeah. We just watched, so you don't have to, episode 15 of
Independence Day Resurgence.
I did that intro all wrong.
Yeah, you like mixed it up.
I got all the parts wrong.
Yeah.
So this is We Watch, so
You don't have to. Watching terrible movies to hopefully save you the time of not having to watch them yourselves. And we went to the movies to see the blockbuster potential movie cinema spectacular
of the year.
Over July 4th, America's Independence Day. Get hyped. It's the sequel to Independence Day.
July 4th, 2.
Resurgence. So I think now's the part where we talk about how angry we are.
Yeah. So this was a sequel to the 1996 movie Independence Day. And it's not starring Will Smith, unfortunately.
There was a painting of him in the movie, if that counts.
Oh, so he made like a cameo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, actually, I would count that.
Yeah.
Jeff
Goldblum's in it.
Jeff Goldblum's in it. Actually, like almost everybody else is in it.
Vivica A. Fox is in it.
Jeff Goldblum's dad in the movie's in it. The scientist that gets choked out by the aliens in it.
Brent Spiner.
That's his name?
Yeah.
Did you look it up beforehand?
No, he was Data from Star Trek The Next Generation.
Oh, shit, he is.
Yeah.
Whoa, dude. Whoa.
You didn't know that?
No, that changed everything for me. Mm-hmm. Randy Quaid is not in it. But only because he went completely bonkers.
Because he actually killed himself.
No, I think he's still alive.
First one.
Oh.
In the role that he played.
Yeah.
In the role that he played.
Touche, sir, touche. Can you finish the summary? Because I'm so angry I want to talk about all the parts.
Yeah, I mean, aliens attack.
That's the summary, right?
Yeah.
You've seen Independence Day 1 because you're from planet Earth. You know what happened. And guess what? The aliens are back and they're trying to attack us. And that's
they're angrier than ever. And they've brought their queen, which, by the way, we didn't know. But in the last time that they attacked...
No queen, I guess?
No, there was a queen. It's just they didn't know that there was a queen. There's this whole concept of like this hive protecting the queen.
Oh, yeah,
and they were
imagine that.
Oh, that must have been the case in 96. How many times did they say like, oh, back in 96?
20 years ago. 20 years ago.
Also, Bill Pullman's in this movie. I don't know if we mentioned him. The President
Everyone.
of the United States.
Yeah. In fact, now that we got the summary out of the way, that's a great place to start because this movie opens by taking the viewer through the galaxy, and we're spiraling all through like different, solar systems and universes. But the whole time, what are we hearing? Bill Pullman's epic 4th of July. We will not surrender. Yeah. We will not go into the night. Just over and over.
This will be our Independence Day.
But it's like on a short loop, and so you're just hearing it like, we over and over and over. And then guess what? It's just one angry alien sitting at a control center, just
like literally in a chair, and then he reaches his alien finger over to the touchscreen and it's like, boop.
Which is like, wait, so this alien's just... I get that they're pissed, but I don't think... if they have the capability of far-reaching interstellar travel, I don't think that they're like literally just replaying his audio over like, I'm gonna fuck that guy up.
They're watching our TV. They're watching our news. They're just like, dude, I'm tired of this shit. Boop.
Over.
Let's attack these guys.
It's the time is now. Attack them. So, anyways, that's how it kicks off.
Yeah, they crash into the moon.
Oh, yeah, that sounds jarring. I guess what you have to realize here, I can't stress this enough. This is 20 years after Independence Day, and while it might have been 20 of your actual years here on normal Earth, in the movie, 20 years means a lot. Like, we have badass technology now, and all kinds of other stuff.
All these defense systems. We have this base
on the
moon. Yeah.
There's a super weapon on the moon. No big deal. That's where you put, because that's where you want to put that there. It's so that you can catch it first, you know?
There's this alien spaceship that's just sitting in the middle of Africa for no reason. It's just sitting there.
Yeah.
So that's there.
Yep. I think actually, what you're doing is not confusing for me because I saw the movie, but to other people it might be confusing. But you're actually recapping literally what happened, and that the movie just jumps around from scene to scene, introducing new characters constantly, and then it just does that.
That's actually how the movie plays out. It plays out. It's in the alien spaceship. The aliens watching Bill Pullman's speech. Boop. And then it's like, boom. Now we're on the moon. They've got this like crazy like base set up. Boop. They're on Africa.
But they introduce you, and in each point it's like, let me introduce you to 6 characters that you'll never really care about. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's like 30 characters in this movie. It's outrageous. Dude, is that the summary?
That was, you moved past the summary.
Will Smith's son is like...
That's not, it's barely clear, dude. Like,
he's kind of the main character.
That's such a fucking cop-out. Yeah, no, it's a cop-out. Like, that's not even... Like, why did they... Also, what did Will Smith do in the first movie? Can you remind me? Like, what did he do that put him far above and beyond every other, like, hero from that war?
I just remember he was like, welcome to Earth.
Yeah, he punched an alien in the face. So it's like, okay, so the son of the guy that punched an alien in the face is more famous worldwide at this point than the son and daughter of the guy that literally destroyed the entire fleet the first time?
Yeah.
So that's interesting.
Yeah.
So Will Smith was just a pretty average soldier that took a ship and punched an alien in the face. Help me out.
He was supposed to be in this movie, but then he had to go and make Suicide Squad, and so they had to like rewrite the entire script. Or maybe not the entire script.
No, yeah, they didn't rewrite anything.
But they wrote his son in, who wasn't going to be in it, and they were like, "Okay, you're going to be like Will Smith's character." I'm sure no one when they it probably would have sucked if Will Smith was in it.
No, I think it would have been the same. They were like, "Look, this movie, we're gonna fart out this movie. Like, who cares? And all it has to be that, like, the director probably when I imagine this, okay, so some intern gets like the email from Will Smith that's like, yo, dude, I'm sorry, like, I want to do this movie. I was a badass in the first one. I punched that alien in the face. Maybe you remember me, but I can't because I'm in Suicide Squad. And this intern is like, oh, fuck. Okay. So he runs and he tells the director, that. And the director just slaps him right upside the face. And he's like, the only thing I give a shit about is that this movie comes out during July 4th.
He's like, this movie is not about Will Smith. It's about fucking Independence Day.
Yeah, and no matter what piece of shit I put on the screen, it could be a chimpanzee's ass for all I care. People will pay money to see it because it's Independence Day. And he's right, actually. That's what actually killed me afterwards, is that he was... How many people were laughing at this?
Dude, that's what I was thinking. The theater was packed, right? Halfway through the movie, I was like, this might be the worst movie I've actually ever seen in my entire life.
And I think the left side of the theater actually agreed with you.
Yeah.
But the right side of the theater was just... They loved it.
Towards the end of the movie, there were parts where people were legitimately... Like, the entire theater, or at least the right side of the theater...
Yeah.
...was all laughing.
I have a theory, though. I think that a group of Mormons came, and that was the right side of the theater. And there's nothing wrong with Mormons, but they're very happy, and they...
Our Mormon fan base. There's at least one.
They're probably laughing their fucking heads off right now, dude. They're laughing their heads off because everything's happy and funny, and that's why when like at one point windshield wipers cleaned some alien throw up off of the bus windshield, and the right side of the theater almost pissed their fucking pants.
They literally shit their pants. They could not believe it. They've never seen anything like that before.
It was the funniest thing. They thought it was hilarious. I don't know. Sorry. We're getting too angry, dude. This is exactly what we said we shouldn't do.
Dude, I think those Mormons were laughing because they've been on buses full of Mormons before where...
Throw up on the windshield.
Aliens have thrown up on the windshield.
And they
were like, I know that game.
That might be true, actually, dude. They're just more aware of... what the universe is actually like, and they're like, this is funny. Aliens are nothing like this, dude. They're like, look how funny they made that.
They're laughing because they're like, no, if only they knew how aliens really are.
You're right. Well, that explains it.
That's interesting.
I got a bunch of stuff I want to.
How do you? Did we really even summarize it?
We did. Andrew.
I know.
We talked about this beforehand. We don't need to summarize this one. It doesn't require summary.
I'm playing it over in my head right now.
It was
a lot of funny parts coming up.
Then start talking about
example,
them. Start talking about them, yeah.
After they crash when they collide with the moon and the moon splits in half, like that's hysterical.
You were laughing at that?
Because they don't ever like come back to that. It's like, dude, they destroyed the moon, like that fucks up like
You're right.
everything, Like you're never gonna have like nighttime again, like the fucking gravity, like the tides and shit. Like that's a whole other thing. And the spaceship just crash lands into Earth, creates this huge tidal wave.
Well, it takes out entire world, like major world cities, like,
and it's hitting like every landmark. And then it pans over to Jeff Goldblum, and he's like, comically, he's like, they always go after the landmarks, which is kind of like a haha.
Yeah,
that's what you want to show off in like CGI,
That well, not only that, but like that's the first moment that the movie spits in your face as a viewer. They're like,
you're right.
They're like, hey, remember when you watched that one movie 20 years ago and then you paid to see it again, idiot? Like, right? Like, there's so many quotes like that where the movie is so like. I want to say self-aware because it's making fun of itself, but it's also so ignorant, of like what's happening. It's like, why is he joking about this? Millions of people are literally dying at that moment, and he's like,
weird,
the landmarks.
Contrast. Yeah, for sure. And there was a scene with Brent Spiner where like his colleague...
I don't know who that is. You have to tell me.
The scientist guy with the long hair.
Okay. Well,
Data from Star Trek, where like his colleague was dying or whatever, and he was like,
what?
It was like a comedic scene or whatever amidst all this like chaos and tragedy. He's like, let me take you to sick bay, which by the way was like a ploy off of like Star Trek Next Generation. He used to like work in sick bay, whatever.
Are you serious?
Show. Yeah, that's why people.
That's another. But no, that's not funny, dude. That's not funny.
He was combining the Star Trek because he was like, fuck this movie. He was like, here's a Star Trek joke.
Yeah, like the only thing that pisses me off. No, seriously, like the only thing you know what the comparison would be is if Jeff Goldblum in the middle of all these aliens attacking had been like, "Hey, I'm Jeff Goldblum. I was in Jurassic Park."
It's like, sure he made a Jurassic Park reference. I'm almost positive they did. It felt like that.
Why are they telling like don't?
When he was on the moon, he should have been like, "Well, that's one big pile of dino shit," or whatever he said. That's one big pile of shit.
They probably edited it out because they were like, maybe we've made too many. Maybe we made too many references.
Yeah, the director had to keep reminding the cast, like, you were actually in this movie, Independence Day Part 2, not what you're actually known for. It
did feel like the actors were going incontrollable, right? Like they were like well, I'm doing my own thing. In fact, I think they were sort of acting on their own and just sort of. And it was like a big party. Everyone was just sort of laughing about it, Like, I didn't get the sense that the world was being destroyed. I got the sense that, like, they gave no shits about the world.
Dude, Bill Pullman was, like, intoxicated the whole time. He was, like, slobbering all over himself. He was just, like, drunk the whole time.
Well, no. He was crazy in the beginning of the movie. So for the first 5 minutes that you see him, he's legit crazy. They say he's crazy. They say he needs his meds. But then he's getting invited to speeches, and he's getting, like, treated as if he's totally fine, which he is. And then he's flying actual like fighter planes. What?
He never even did that in the first one.
Oh no, but here like they needed somebody to manually drive a ship into the heart of the alien spaceship.
Dude, everybody could fly a fucking spaceship in this movie. Even like the daughter, that chick. Well,
no, but
she was like Bill Pullman's daughter or something. She could fly.
Yeah, but
He
Andrew,
fly.
but they need a bunch of people that know how to fly. So they all learned how to fly since the last one because they said one day, 20 years from now, aliens are going to return. And guess what? When those aliens return, their target's always at the center. And guess what? It requires somebody to fly straight into it manually. Right?
They were all trained pilots. That's an assumption.
I think that's the only thing. Look, if the aliens have 20 years to plan, you have to assume a couple things. That if the aliens have 20 years to plan, that they won't be foolish enough to build a way to get into the center of their spaceship and fly straight into the middle of them and destroy them. But that assumption was wrong. You have to assume that not everyone is a trained fighter pilot that's capable of handling military-grade aircraft. Well, you were wrong there because everyone can, right? So I think what we realize is we don't know anything about this new Earth that was created when aliens made contact. Like, we don't know. We don't know anything about it.
I don't know.
It defies all logic, I'll tell you that. Not that this defies all logic because it's about to happen, but there's a lady president in this movie.
They call her Madame President.
Do they really?
Yeah, they do.
That's fucking weird. Okay,
Yeah.
So here's what I thought was interesting about her. She's a psycho, first of all.
Yeah.
I kind of thought, okay, like, we have a lady president. She'll be a little bit more like, cool-headed, collaborative, like, less of like, just like an extension of these military guys that are telling her to like fire, 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 shoot. At every opportunity, she's like, fucking shoot him.
Dude, that's what I was gonna say. She was like a yes woman, She was just like, let's do it.
And she was
They're like, there's extraterrestrials. Jeff Goldblum is like, we don't know who they are.
She's like, light them up.
Let's relax. Let's investigate. And she's like, let's kill them.
Yeah, like,
boom.
There's one scene towards the end of the movie where the aliens are actually breaching this room that she's actually in, right? Oh, yeah. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And they get in and they break through and everyone's like so scared. And she just stares at them when they finally break through with their alien guns and she just says, "There will be no peace." It's like, you're in no position to threaten. And by the way, had you started with an idea of peace, this might not have happened. But your first like go-to mode is like, I'm gonna fuck some shit up. What is that?
And they like immediately murdered her. By the way, like that was the end of her.
Yeah, because they have guns and they broke in.
She just went down like guns a-blazing. It's like whatever.
I mean, dude, I have to appreciate the gumption. I mean, like, that was solid. I don't feel like she was much of a diplomat. She clearly got voted on her. Yeah, I guess post-alien invasion, she got voted in on her, military prowess.
Dude, she should have been like a fighter pilot, like up there helping everybody.
She was. We already established that. Everyone
I know,
in this
but
world
she
is
should
a
have
fighter
been
pilot.
in the movie actually doing something, but she was just like, let's do it.
Kill him. Shoot him.
Make it so. Hit the button.
Yeah.
Fire the trigger.
Yeah, totally. There was a whole room of those people, right? And it's like, what do you think? Do it. Don't do it. Do it. Do it. It's like, we're supposed to believe that this happens? Like, this is boring. Boring.
It would have been nice if she was like, don't do that one. Hold off on that
Shoot
one.
everyone else, but not that one.
Hold off. Let's figure this out.
Yeah. Do you remember when early on in the movie when they're going to check on the ship that the lady Madame President, yeah. That she instructed them to shoot down into the moon. Yeah. And they send a team to go find it. And can we just sort of recap like who this team was? Because I think that covers a pretty good swath of the characters.
Sure.
One is Jeff Goldblum.
Yes.
The other is
Liam Hemsworth.
Who's Chris Pine, actually.
Or even Chris Hemsworth.
Chris Pine got sick and then got his understudy.
It was some weird mix of Chris Pine from Star Trek Beyond, Chris Hemsworth, who was Thor, and then Liam Hemsworth, which was the actual actor who played the role. But he He looks like both of those guys.
They were like, Chris, can either of you do this?
Chris or Chris, who's gonna do it?
Can any of the Chris's do this?
My name's Liam. I told you.
So, anyways, it's him, Goldblum. Then you got John Oliver, who's like the fumbling nerd that like they take along. I think he's like an accountant or something.
That was like the valedictorian guy.
No. I'm calling him like tiny face, rat face.
That's your reference.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't know what to call him.
No, it's.
And then the so we got him. You already established him, and then who's Chris Pine's co-pilot, and then
yeah.
and then you got the guy. You know the guy with the glasses that looks like John Oliver from Weekend Update.
No.
Are you serious?
Oh yeah, but he doesn't show up till later. Did he go to the crater with them?
Yeah, remember he was like, "Should I fasten my seatbelt?"
Gotcha.
Okay,
You're right.
Okay, so then to round out this like totally normal crew is an African warlord,
the scary African guy, yeah, with the fucking double machetes on his back.
Yeah,
that guy was nuts, and all the tally marks tattooed on his bicep.
What were those from?
I don't know. He killed a bunch of aliens from behind.
Well, wait, hold on. How does he kill aliens?
From behind.
Oh, he kills them from behind?
Yeah.
Huh.
And in one scene, there's an alien.
Can we
attack.
explain that for everyone that doesn't
Sure.
know what the fuck that is?
Sure. So there's an alien attacking them, and then he comes to save the day.
No. The guy first asks, "How did you kill those aliens?"
Oh, and he goes, and he turns like over, and he's like, "From behind," and that's it.
And yeah, that was weird. And it would be weird if they said it once, but they said it over and over throughout the movie.
But don't you remember the scene where he actually killed the alien from behind? Or did you go to the bathroom for that?
I left as many times as I could, actually. I don't know.
Dude, he slid past one of the aliens and stabbed him from behind and killed him.
He also killed aliens.
And then he
not
was
from
like,
behind.
"See, I told you.
I told you, kill them from behind." It's like, what are you doing to these aliens? Like, I'm kind of creeped out, bro. Like,
Get him from behind."
what are you doing? Like, I'm on the alien side on this one. Like,
He's
stop.
like tattooing another like.
But why was that? Like, it was almost foreshadowing. Is like, are they gonna kill? Did they kill the main alien from behind? Because otherwise, why are you forcing this down our throats to make him be like?
I don't think that's how they killed the queen. In the
It's
end.
also not. Yeah, it's clearly not the only way to kill them. So it's just like, just because that's your preferred pervert strategy of killing aliens from behind. Why is he telling everyone? Who wrote that line? Isn't that weird?
There's
It's weird.
just like pointless things.
The whole thing.
You like hang on to, and it's just like carries no weight.
Yeah, so you shouldn't have. That's what the point of editing a script is for, right? You cross those lines out and you say, let's save people 30 minutes of their lives by not building this character that kills aliens from behind for no reason, right?
It was just such a dude. I was bored the whole time. I'm not even gonna lie.
Yeah,
I'm trying to like explain exciting stuff. It was so boring. I was yawning the whole time. People in the audience were laughing. I was trying to figure that out. I couldn't understand. There was some like major disconnect.
It was odd that everyone, the parts that everyone laughed at. I really had an issue with that theater audience.
Yeah. Do you remember when Vivica A. Fox? She was like a nurse and she was helping that lady who had the child.
Time out a second. She's not a nurse. I think she's like an OBGYN.
Yeah, for sure.
So 20 years ago, not to say this never happens, but 20 years ago, she was a foxy stripper.
Foxy?
Yeah.
I see what you did there.
And now she has old white woman hair. Right? Did you see her?
Yeah.
So, in 20 years, it's been a weird 20 years for her, for sure. Right?
Well, she's like a surgeon. Like she's getting older, you know.
She had to be in med school for the last 20 years, between applying to school, graduate school. You're talking, she must have just become a doctor.
Yeah.
And then she gets killed immediately in the movie.
She looks outside of the window, and there's this giant spaceship that's like crashing into their city.
Oh, but wait, her son, who's a fighter pilot, it also happens to be hovering nearby because the movie is a big fuck you, and he's at that exact point in time, at that exact place, to watch his doctor mother on the roof saving someone. Because that's everything I just said.
Saving the lady who just had a child. let's remind you that Vivica A. Fox was Will Smith's wife in the 96 movie, but they killed him off because he couldn't actually be in this movie. So anyways...
Well, he could have.
He could have, but he was like, fuck it, I'll be in Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
It's going to be way better.
Maybe I'll just be in a good movie instead.
I think he made the right choice. So Vivica A. Fox with this lady who just had a newborn, they're up on the roof, and yeah, like you said, her son, who's a fighter pilot, somehow zeroes in amidst all this chaos of this alien attack. He's like, somebody needs help down there. Let's save him. And then they fly in and scoop up the lady who had the baby. Vivica A. Fox like throws the two of them in the helicopter, and she's like, no, you go, not me. And then the building collapses and she dies. And then her son from the view of the cockpit is like, no. It was hysterical.
No, actually, I think it segued right from that. I think I have this written down somewhere. But it segues right from that into, the Jewish grandpa in his boat, and he's like, oh, oy vey.
Yeah.
The schmutz all over the steering wheel is driving me nuts. And, like, this, like, tidal wave's pushing him, and everyone laughs, and it's like, hold on, one of the guys...
It's much bigger than the last one. He's cracking jokes while, like, in the face of death, basically. It's crazy.
Well, that in itself is like, okay, that's crazy, but what a weird editing thing to have this moment that's supposed to be like, oh, wow, I have a relationship with this character of Vivica A. Fox. She was, that's her son. Like, he's supposed to be a main character from the sense that I get so far in the movie, and she just died.
They don't allow you to make those emotional connections.
No.
Yeah.
Time to go to the next... Yeah, they're just on to the next thing.
But why even create those emotional scenes if you're not going to, like, pan out the connection associated with those characters? Boom.
Great question. That's a great question.
Suck on that, Roland Emmerich.
Who's that?
The director.
Is that the director?
Yeah.
What else has he done?
The first Independence Day.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And The Patriot.
What?
Mel Gibson. And a couple other movies.
You're naming good movies. So I guess, you know what I think happened in the last 20 years? He got really bitter, and he's
honestly,
super mad at us.
I don't think he did anything in the last 20 years.
Yeah.
Seriously.
I think he's probably, like, they called him up, and he was, like, just, like, taking a bottle of whiskey straight to the mouth, and he's like, you want me to do what? And they're like, well, you did the first one. We thought maybe he's like, you know what, fuck you and fuck your movies. And they were like, dude, Roland, will you please do us this one solid? And he's like, I'll make your movie, but I'm going to make it my way. And the whole thing is just this twisted, like, everything's a joke. It's like the world is ending, but no one cares. You know what I mean? It's like every scene is somebody cracking a stupid joke in the camera's face about the world ending. It's like, why even save it? Like, why don't they just crash their spaceship straight in the ground and laugh, like, die laughing? Because I feel like that's what they don't care, right? Did you get a sense that any of these characters, like...
I feel like that movie should have been, like, the aliens winning. Like, if they won in the end, I would have been like, that's kind of dope.
I wanted them to because I hated that version of Earth so much. Yeah. Like, okay, here's an example. Chris Pine is about to take off...
A.K.A. Liam Hemsworth. A.K.A. Chris Hemsworth.
He's about to take off in his spaceship.
Yeah.
And he's been talking with his fiance from his moon base about possibly buying a house. And she's like, I haven't had time to look at houses, okay? And he's like, no, don't worry about it. So then, flash forward, now aliens are literally ripping the planet from the inside out and ruining everything, killing entire cities at a time. London's gone. Hong Kong's gone. London again. You know what I mean? Like, the whole thing... Tokyo, right? Everything's getting destroyed. And he's about to take off to go fight some aliens. And she's like, I checked out the house. The one on Jefferson Lane. And that, if they had stopped right there, would have been like, oh, this is her, like, trying to say that she believes that he's not going to die and there's going to be life after. And then he's like, if it's still around, yuck. And then fucking jumps in the spaceship and flies off. It's like, yeah, we get it. Everything's destroyed. Like, what?
Also, at that moment, who cares that you checked out that? You're talking about, like, Zillow.com right now? Like, houses that you're...
I'm surprised they didn't just say Zillow.com. Hey, by the way, thanks so much to our sponsor for this episode, Zillow.com.
Brought to you by Zillow.com, where you can find houses at a reasonable price.
That are out of this world.
Out of this world.
Get it, aliens and stuff.
assuming aliens haven't destroyed the street that the house is on.
Yeah, and if they have, just use Zillow and find another one.
Just use the filter where aliens haven't attacked.
Right.
And you'll find something.
Yep.
Thanks, Zillow.
Thanks so much. And I'll be calling you tomorrow, Zillow, to ask for the money.
For my free house.
All right. What else, dude? I have 8 more pages of notes. When they're inside. Sorry, dude. Did you have something to say? I feel like I've been hogging the microphone. You're holding up your single page of notes. Maybe it's best if I run with this one. Can I add something? So when they're inside the alien spaceship, they can't attack it from the top, so they decide to attack it from the bottom.
Yeah.
And it allows it...
It's a trap.
It allows it straight up the bottom.
Right up the rear.
And they go inside, but it's not an alien spaceship. It's like the inside of... It's like a swamp.
Dude, it was a swamp with like cornfields and stuff. It was so weird.
This was a really weird quote. He said... Chris Pine said this. Charlie, look at those fields down there. They have their own ecosystem. I was so angry. It's like there's an alien race that has alien weapons and alien spaceships attacking you, and you're literally... It's blowing your mind that they have their own ecosystem. It's like, that's the definition, right? Like,
yeah.
What do you mean? Why was that in there? Like, I want to call Roland, and I want to literally make him answer for that line and be like, what the fuck am I supposed to think about that?
Well, it was just weird because they were like hiding in the water and the aliens couldn't find them. It's almost like they were like outsmarting the aliens when it was like their territory. Like
maybe if the aliens had any kind of like infrared technology or anything,
dude.
Anything at all, or just move their big alien feet around in the water, they could have found them.
Exactly. But they outsmarted them somehow.
It's like, I don't know who's... I guess maybe that's why the whole right side of the theater was laughing, is because they realized what we didn't. We come from this version of viewing Independence Day where I think when we saw it as kids, we were like, wow, like, people are smart, and these aliens are smart, and it's like a battle of the two finest. And now in this, like, iPhone, like texting age, the aliens maybe also got dumber, and humanity got dumber, and so it's like Battle of the Idiots, you know what I mean? And like the aliens are like tripping around and like, right? Isn't that kind of what it was?
No, that's an amazing point. Actually, that's how it felt.
And everyone's like a pilot, but they're not. It's just like there are no pilots because no one actually took the time to become a pilot because they were too busy texting. You know what I mean?
It just felt so stupid the whole time, and it was like. Do you remember when the beehive was like swarming around trying to protect the queen, and then Chris Pine / Liam Hemsworth and his buddy who stole the alien spaceship, they were caught in that tornado. Then they made a comment like, well, every tornado has an eye. And then that's how they escaped.
Problem solved.
Firing their like whatever nitro booster, and then
just by saying
shooting out the middle.
Just by saying that. Yeah, it's almost like
also hurricanes have an eye. I don't think a tornado has an eye, so I think that was like a false quote.
I think sometimes the movie was like, as long as I say something, it doesn't have to add up to what the thing's doing. Like at one point, Jeff Goldblum said, "What goes up must come down." It's like Jeff Goldblum didn't have a single cool line in this movie, by the way, and he's a cool fucking guy.
You know what I just remembered? I remembered the 96 movie was just as dumb as this movie. Only we didn't realize it because we're 20 years older. Because I remember in order to take down the mothership, Jeff Goldblum realized that he needed to like spread a virus or whatever. And that was when like computers were coming out and they were like, yeah, let's plant a virus or something. And that's what ultimately took down the mothership. It was like something... It was some shitty line like, cold, wait a minute, a virus.
He did that again in this movie where he's like... He was like...
It was some idiotic realization where it was like, how are you going to plant a virus in a fucking alien spaceship? Right. But that's what he did in the 96 movie. Yeah. So, what are you going to expect from this movie? You know? set the...
Maybe the right side of the theater that was like dying laughing were just older people, so their recollection of everything was relatively the same, and they're like, yeah, this is the same dumb movie I remember.
Exactly.
They're like, you nailed it, Roland. This is the next best thing you did.
Wouldn't expect any less.
Well, no, actually, you know what? We're doubting ourselves now. This movie was pure shit. Remember when? Because
it was one big pile of shit.
It really no, it was. Is that a Jeff Goldblum Dino reference? Jurassic Park was good though, dude. Can we talk about that for a little while?
That's a good movie. That was directed by Steven Spielberg, not Roland Emmerich. That's the difference there.
Jeff Goldblum, speaking of his lines, towards the end of the movie, they're in a school bus, driven by originally by his father, and there's a whole bunch of kids on there that he rescued, and the giant, massive alien queen is running through the desert towards them. I mean, she's like skyscraper sized, right?
Yeah.
And there's a little like girly dog, like a purse dog that's like on the ground. And one of the kids runs out to save it. And Jeff Goldblum, once again, like, the movie being so, like, ignorant of itself, you know, Goldblum's, like, got the door of the school bus open. He's, like, ready to take off. And he's like, oh, we're not going to wait for the dog, are we? Okay, I guess we're going to wait for the dog. And everyone dies laughing. And it's like...
No, I know.
I mean, if that was the one... You know what, when that's funny, is when you have a whole movie of, like, alien attacks and, like, craziness, and that's the one line... But when every single thing like that, it's like, I'm no longer scared of the aliens. I'm just like, Jeff Goldblum doesn't even fucking care about starting his bus. And guess what? His bus got away from the alien. How is that?
It tried to be like an intense, scary alien attack movie, but then it had all these weird comedic scenes that completely... It was so jarring, like... That's why the movie...
Not even comedic, it's like they didn't care.
But do you remember the movie Mars Attacks? Like, that was hilarious.
But that was purposely hilarious.
Exactly. But that's why, like, this movie was missing the mark. Like, it wasn't quite that, and it wasn't quite, like, a crazy alien attack movie.
I wish Chris Pine would have gone up to those aliens and, like, poked them right in the eye. Like, you know, I mean, like...
Three Stooges.
Like, banging their heads together and stuff. Oh, you know what? I gotta go back to... sorry, I just realized the scene that I wanted to talk about.
Throw a pie in their face or something.
This is my favorite... If I want to talk about one more scene, this is the scene.
You're pointing a pink Sharpie at my face, by the way.
Yeah, dude, I'm so fired up.
You're just like... I just keep dodging it the whole time.
I'm sorry. I'm just so... I'm so mad. And all right. So, two things, both focusing on former President Pullman.
Okay.
The first one is that he gave that speech that was the, like...
this will be our Independence Day.
Sure. But then he gave a speech in The Hangar. Do you remember that speech in this movie?
In this movie?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
But he had, like, a squeaky voice? Wasn't that weird?
Dude, his speech was so bad that I got up to use the restroom in the middle of it.
Yeah.
I remember vividly. I was like, this isn't...
But it wasn't his voice. It was, like, really weird, right? It was almost... I mean, that was actually accidentally comical. That was funny. Okay, so the real thing I wanted to talk about...
Well, just one more
Sure.
piece about that. Well, I just feel like this movie was so predictable that I felt like they would have tried to recreate his famous speech and have him do it again. Totally. But they made him
worse?
The hero in this movie.
Oh.
Remember? He shaved his beard, and then he was like, I'm going to be a fighter pilot, and I'm going to take down the queen. And
which, again, in this movie is not really a commendable thing because everyone's a fighter pilot.
He was a pivotal figure in taking down the mothership this time.
I actually can't speak towards that because I went to the bathroom.
You went to the bathroom during that time? That's right. You actually went to the bathroom when they took down the entire alien mothership.
Because I gave no fucks. Look,
and you were like, did I miss anything? And I was like, Bill Pullman just fucking suicided into the alien mothership and took it down. Because
here's why. The scene in the first movie when Randy Quaid has to sacrifice himself unplanned, knows that he has to sacrifice himself by driving his plane into the middle of the alien spaceship. that meant something.
I thought that was kind of dope because he was that type of crazy character, and his character played through, and it had meaning and it had depth.
Right. So when this movie, after everything it put us through, and it was kind of just like, this is a copycat movie, this is garbage, and then an hour and a half in, when it's like, I'm sorry, and like, you know, they go back to their war room scene when everyone's just giving the president information, and she's like, kill him, shoot him, bang him,
Let's do it. Hit the button.
Yeah. They're like, Mrs. President, Madam President, it turns out the alien spaceship can only be taken down manually by another aircraft. And Pullman's like, I'll do it. I'm like, fuck you. No. Find another way to blow up a spaceship. Like Star Wars. It's like the new Star Wars movie. Why is there always a fucking trench that the bad guy builds in their ship? Right?
There's always got to be a weak spot. And in fact, the weak spot in this movie, I remember they showed it. They were like, right in the middle.
Yes, exactly.
The middle. That's where the hive is. In the middle.
Or when they were chasing the queen alien at the end, they were like, aim for the tail. That's the weak spot. I felt like I was playing a game of Zelda or something. It was like,
dude, I was playing Star Fox the whole time.
It was Star Fox. Yeah, it was like, hey, do a barrel roll.
I was locked on. I was firing bombs.
Cocky little freaks. We've developed the inside video game jokes. Where this is going. All right, so can I give my one last? Always our motto: save the best for last when no one else is listening.
You're nuts. Full of pink Sharpies.
It is the notes of a lunatic. Okay, so this scene, Bill Pullman is like having dreams of this like symbol. Everyone's like freaking out about this symbol that they're seeing, which is actually just the power symbol.
Yeah, it's a circle with a line through it.
It's well, not even through it, just halfway through it. It's the power symbol.
Sure. I see it right there.
Yeah.
Actually, perfectly right there.
Yeah, it's the power symbol on your Mac. Just FYI. It's universally known throughout the entire universe as this.
That is really shitty that they picked. Wow.
Yeah, it's like draw something cooler. Like have the artist give you 3 options instead of just being like, yeah, whatever. This is all my. It might as well have been the fucking like the like little horn thing for the volume. Everyone's drawing that. It's the semicolon.
The brightness setting.
Yeah. So he's seeing all these visions. So Crazy Bill Pullman reports to Area 51. They remind you that you're at Area 51. I think they said Area 51 maybe 18 times in the movie.
At least 51 times.
Like, but seriously though, like it's hilarious. It's like over there, Area 51. It's like we get it. There's aliens. Area 51 doesn't matter once we know that there's actually aliens. Like the cool part about Area 51 is that we are like wondering if there's aliens or not. Like Area 51 is meaningless to these people, you know? Okay. Sorry. There's gonna be just 1 hour long. 1 hour long rant.
We're so angry this episode, dude.
I know. It's my bad. It's my bad.
No. I hated this movie.
I mean, it was bad. People need to know. That's the whole point, dude. Look, we'll get into that. That'll be the last thing we get into. I just want to say this one thing. Okay, so Bill Pullman shows up at Area 51. There's all these aliens that they've held hostage for all these years. And they're in, like, actual cells. Like, it's like
cells,
it's like alien. It's like space prison.
Yeah.
So Bill Pullman is like, we've got to interrogate one of them. And he's got his, like, crazy white beard. So they turn away for 1 second, and like a grandpa with dementia, he wanders off, and then they're all like,
oh, God.
They're like, oh, where's Bill? And guess what? He's gone into the alien holding tank, and the aliens got him by the throat and throws him up against the glass.
Dude, you realize that was the same exact scene that happened with Brent Spiner, only they were on opposite sides of the glass.
Exactly.
Time, which was crazy.
Well, not so much crazy as it is a cop-out and total bullshit.
Yeah. Describing it sounds crazy. That's a very important distinction. But visually actually seeing it, I was like, dude, are you kidding me? They did that fucking scene from the 96 movie. Like, it was almost frame by frame, like, the same fucking scene. The same shot. But
yes. So that is infuriating. But here's the thing. Then everyone just goes with it, and everyone he's pressed up against the glass, and his vocal cords are held by the alien, and they're like, oh, tell us your plan. What's the plan? Where's it at? Where are you going? And it's like, what kind of a fucked up reverse interrogation is this? Like, at no point would you be like, watch this, Bill, I'm going in. Right. And you go into the bad guy, you give him your gun, and he puts your gun to your head, and then he starts answering questions. It's like, no. I have all the power. I don't answer anything. But the alien was like, we're coming for you. It's the queen. It's like, I don't understand. How is this an interrogation? And why is this working?
How is he able to communicate that? Do you remember right?
No, he's not able to communicate that. He is a pawn for the alien communicating. So,
right, but
how's
do you
that
remember
interrogation?
Before the alien like wrapped its tentacles around his throat, he turned to like everybody on the opposite side of the glass and he said, "Get whatever insight you can." And then he disappeared into the mist, and then the alien wrapped him up. And the interrogation. That would
be like,
isn't that weird?
That would be like walking into an interrogation room as the interrogator, laying down, putting the washcloth over your face, and pouring water on your head, and being like, "Get what you can." It's like, hey, bro, you're waterboarding yourself. Like, I can't get anything out of you. I already know what you know.
Right.
Like, I don't understand. Like, he like clamps like he puts the clamps on his nipples. He's like, "Get whatever information you can from me." Like, Bill, we don't need information from you. We need information from the alien. Like,
that was just a crazy Bill Pullman scene. He was just like, I'm a crazy guy. I'm going to sacrifice myself to the aliens, and maybe they'll slip up and say something they shouldn't. I think that was his plan, actually. It was just like a crazy guy trick.
But that's not how you run a space prison. You know what I mean? Like, if you're the warden of a space prison and you want information from one of the prisoners, you don't throw yourself in their cell at their mercy and wait till they jam your face up against the bars and make you talk. Like, what?
Dude, it was terrible. And they all grabbed the alien guns off the wall and like started shooting them. Oh.
At one point, what's the guy's name? Bill Spiner, you keep saying?
Brent Spiner.
Okay, so
Data.
I'm calling everyone Bill, actually.
Or Chris.
Brent Spiner. Brent Spiner, at one point, they interact with this like alien life form, and he's like, "Look at that! It speaks our language and English."
Yeah.
And it was just like, that's the second time it like spit right in your face. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That was
He was talking to the camera like, "Okay, we get it. It speaks
English."
The
alien species. It was like, I'm the last of my kind. Or whatever.
Yeah, and it didn't even like, it didn't even say anything cool. It was just like, "Hello, I'm an alien."
It was like Siri, kind of.
It was Siri. It was a big power button. Whoa, maybe that's maybe that's the whole meaning. Is that Siri evolved?
It sounded like Siri.
Oh, maybe that was their whole thing. Is that Siri? That remember, because that sphere thing that was the power button.
That's kind of cool.
Said, we ceased being biological organisms thousands of years ago.
Oh yeah.
So maybe what we're making fun of and why we have such a problem with it is because that's not Earth. Will Smith isn't from Earth, and Bill Spiner's not from Earth, and Bill Pullman's not from Earth, and Chris Pine in this movie.
Chris Pine.
The Earth thing is the sphere that comes to visit them, and that's how Earth has progressed. And we're visiting some ancient idiot cavemen versions of ourselves. You know what I mean? I think that's the only thing that makes sense.
Yeah, they're like, we abandoned the English language thousands of years ago or whatever.
Yeah, but then they picked it right back up, like riding a bike, like riding a space bike. Remember when Jeff Goldblum was like, "She baited us"?
Yeah.
And just over and over, like the whole, the coolest, the only, it's two entities at war, and they were like mind blown that they baited them. It's like, it's either that or attack, right?
Dude, honestly, the '96 movie was just as dumb as this, I think. You know?
No, because it was original. That's the difference. It was at least original.
You're right. But this sequel was not original in the least. There was nothing new. It was basically a rehash of the entire first movie, I think.
Roland was trying to get by with doing as little. He's like,
He hasn't made a movie in like 20 years, dude.
again, he was like, dude, he's just downing plastic bottles of vodka in his trailer, and he's like, they're like, Roland, when are we gonna get some direction? And he's like, have you watched the 1996 movie? And they're like, yes, we've been watching it ever since this thing started. Like, we're watching it over and over. And he's like, I won't come out of my trailer until you've shot as much as you can that's a direct version of that. And so they're like, okay, and that's when they film almost everything, and then he comes in and has one crazy idea, and then puts a stamp on it, and he's like,
I was gonna say, yeah, and then he never came out of his trailer.
Yeah, and he was just like,
They finished, and he was like, stamp my name.
yeah, because he didn't want to do it anyways. He was like he hates the movie industry, he hates the people, he hates the audience. It was clear. If there's one thing that's clear to me, is that whoever made this movie and who's responsible for it hates the movie audience. They're like, fuck you, you sheeple. Like, you'll pay for anything. We can do anything. You know what I mean?
Dude, but somehow people in the theater genuinely enjoyed it. That's what I couldn't figure out.
It was just the Mormons, though, dude.
You're right, the Mormons.
And they had a wonderful time as a family, and that's fine. That's great.
Family of 8, you know.
They were. I heard all 8 of them laughing their heads off.
We gotta edit that out big time.
Well, no, if we were making fun of Scientologists, we'd have to edit it out. But Mormons,
dude,
they'll just be like,
it. Also, episode 16, we're gonna watch Battlefield Earth.
no, we're not. We're not going to do that.
We're gonna have a guest star, Dustin O'Neill. He's gonna join us.
We're going to call up John Travolta.
And Tom Cruise, guest star.
We're going to drive down to the headquarters of the annual flag ceremony in St. Petersburg, Florida.
Is that where it is?
Yeah, I drove past it,
I
dude.
thought it was in Utah.
Nah, bro, that's Mormons. We're talking about Scientologists
Oh,
now.
you're right.
Totally different. We're going to have to edit that out.
Yeah.
Look, we respect both of your groups, and we do not think they're the same. We're very clear they're different, and they're special in their own ways, and there's no judgment here.
It's almost like they're independent of one another.
And they appreciate their independence. What else to say, dude? I kind of...
Dude, you know...
This will be a good test to see if anybody listens to me yell for 45 minutes about a movie.
Yeah, Queen chasing the school bus. Fuck this movie is a note that I had.
Yeah, I have that. I have something similar.
So boring is another note that I have.
So you take you notes like that?
Yes.
I think I hit them all, dude. Yeah, nothing else to go.
Just,
nothing else worth going into.
I think we got it. It's,
Just don't let's wrap up with a final message.
This is a we watch, so you don't have to.
Don't see this movie.
This one.
In fact, you know what I realized? I think that Hollywood is in a phase right now. Maybe this always happens, and I'm just being naive. But Hollywood is like right in the thick of a phase where they're just pumping out. Even Pixar. Pixar is an amazing studio that does great work, and they're fucking circling back to shit. You know what I mean? They're like, oh, Nemo, let's use a side character and fucking make a whole movie about him. But I think that like what it says is that they're like, they know that the world is in such a shitty place and people are desperate for entertainment, and they're going to dump their wallets out for anything, even a rehash of the same thing. It's like,
I think this movie marks the beginning of the end of cinema as we know it, because this affirms the fact that entertainment is all about rehashes and sequels and remakes, and there's nothing original anymore, you know?
I mean, I think that this...
What was the last good original movie you saw?
Midnight Special last night.
Yeah, I mean, dude, it's
a great movie.
Great fucking example.
There's a ton of great movies out there, but the thing is, I bet you Midnight Special didn't make whatever this movie's made in 2 days.
Yeah.
Right?
You're right.
This movie's gonna make, just because of just because Independence Day and it's America style. It's America this and America that, right?
I think this podcast would be more popular if we praise this movie and we're like, remember what Jeff Goldblum's dad said in that one scene? Ha ha ha. And then people would be like, Yeah, that was hysterical. I remember
What?
that.
What are you talking about, dude?
I'm just saying.
No.
Cater
Here's what I want to do.
Cater to those people.
I want to get a station wagon. I want to get a station wagon with wood panels and put speakers on top. And I want to drive around town on July 4th, blasting this very podcast out of all the windows and preventing people, telling people, don't watch this fucking movie. Look, we did this knowing that it wasn't going to be good. We did this to ourselves, and I hated it. But I'm happy that I did it so I can tell you not to do it. And that's the whole point. And I just don't know. I don't know, dude. This has become a manifesto at this point. It's like a crazy manifesto.
I think that pretty much wraps up episode 15 of
We Watch.
So You Don't Have To.
All right.
We'll see you next time.
Bye, everyone.